Hello, I'm Shonda Witherspoon. My research project for American Entrepreneurship 1900 is titled Black Medicine, White Money: The Business of White Philanthropy and African American Hospitals. The project examines the rise of black hospitals after slavery, researching who and how they were funded. In addition to why funding stopped, and all except one hospital has closed down or have been swallowed up by a larger medical conglomerate. The research questions posed was: what role would racial progress, integration, and covert racism play in the termination of financial support from the government, philanthropists, and private foundations to black hospitals? The closing of black hospitals hold historical significance because black medical institutions start to close after the start of the civil rights movements. So, what black Americans did to uplift the race, make more freedoms, give equal opportunity, this caused our black hospitals to close. The reason is simple. After slavery, Jim Crow laws and radical racism made it prohibited and even illegal for African Americans to get services in white hospitals. The majority of the hospitals were segregated, mainly in the South. All of the hospitals in the South probably were segregated. This led to inadequate health care for African Americans until the Black Hospital Renaissance. This was shortly after slavery, actually shortly after the Civil War began. But one has to remember, starting with slavery, in America, the health care of African Americans always began under the control of their white owners. So there was always black health care has majority been under the watchful eye of white owners or white money. White control and money intertwined with black health care would be a continuous pattern for decades. The funding of these hospitals came from white philanthropist foundations. Now, although many black doctors and black officials sought for financial backing and fought to get these hospitals, they didn't have the funding to start them themselves. This project explained that there were 3 national philanthropic organizations were their forefront of funding that cause. These 3 would lay the foundation for white money financing black medicine and influence the direction of the black hospital movement. They were the Duke Foundation, the Julius Rosenwald Fund, and the General Education Board. There would be other private foundations and personal contributors along with the federal government. My research revealed that approximately 500 hospitals were designated black-owned and black-run facilities from pre-Civil War through post-segregation. For this process and this project, the researchers selected 5. The featured hospital for this project was Providence Hospital in Chicago, Flint Goodrich Hospital in New Orleans, Lincoln Hospital in Durham, North Carolina, Houston Negro Hospital that turned into Riverside General Hospital in Houston, Texas, and Homer G. Phillips in St. Louis, and Howard University Hospital that began as Freedman's Hospital in Washington, D.C., and this is the only still functioning hospital black hospital, the Howard University Hospital. So what happened to 499 other black hospitals? The majority of these hospitals began to close as the civil rights movement began to open up segregated institutions all over. The need for black hospitals became unnecessary. Why? Why? Because African Americans could now go to any hospital they chose and get better service, better equipment, because mostly all of these black hospitals were inadequate, had inadequate equipment, and the services, generally just the services, they couldn't meet the services that were needed by the patients. So now with segregation, it opened up and they could get it at the white hospital. So they began to go to the white hospitals. The doctors, black and white, that were at these black hospitals, they left and they went to the white hospitals. This caused a close down, financial backing stopped, because a lot of the financiers wanted to show that they were open to segregation and they would not fund simply just the black hospitals. And then even sometime cities and government had to make choices to close hospitals for any reason, save money or whatever, and they decided to close the black hospitals. The mayor of St. Louis closed the Homer G. Phillips hospitals because he said that the white citizens wouldn't be as mad if he closed the black hospital as he would if he closed the white hospitals. My research started very slowly. The business aspect of these hospitals were very hard to find. If they were not funded by one of the three foundations that I listed, their business, it was just, they opened and they closed. The history of them and what they did and the doctors and all of this, that was very adequate. But the business side of these hospitals, the research was slow. I did find articles in the personal papers, Wheels, of people who gave, the foundation private papers, and I got a lot of information from videos and individual interviews. But the Black Hospital Renaissance is an untapped subject that needs to have a place in history, especially in African American history. This is a subject that gives African American history a story of success, determination, and pride. So I plan to further go into the black hospitals and see what else I can find out and research on them. Thank you.